The food we eat each day makes up our diet. Whatever we choose to eat, our diet must include different food substances called nutrients. These are chemicals used in an organism's metabolism which must be taken in from its environment and are essential for an organism to live and grow. There are substances that enrich the body and are used to build and repair tissues, regulate body processes, and are converted to and used as energy. A diet which contains all the necessary nutrients, which are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, water, mineral salts, and vitamins, but not too much of them, it's called a balanced diet. There are two types of nutrients, organic and inorganic. Organic nutrients include carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and vitamins, while inorganic nutrients include minerals and water. A nutrient becomes essential if it must be obtained from an external source, either because the organism cannot synthesize it or it produces insufficient quantities. Nutrients needed in very small amounts, such as minerals and vitamins, are micronutrients, and those that are needed in larger quantities, like carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and water, are called macronutrients. Within the micronutrients are carbohydrates, an important part of a healthy diet, mainly because carbohydrate-rich foods are the primary source of energy for all body functions. The digestive system breaks them down into singular sugar molecules, since only these are small enough to cross into the bloodstream. It also converts most digestible carbohydrates into glucose, a universal energy source for all cells, providing the body with the fuel it needs for physical activity and for proper organ function. That's why it is essential for everyone to get an important amount of carbohydrates. The best sources of carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, deliver essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Carbohydrates come in a variety of forms. The most common and abundant are sugar, starch, and cellulose. Sugars are simple carbohydrates that can be easily digested by your body and provide energy, so we call it an energy food. Different food contain different types of sugar. For example, the sugar in fruit is either fructose or glucose, while in milk is lactose. Ordinary table sugar is called sucrose, which comes mainly from sugar cane, a plant which stores sucrose in its thick stem. Starches are complex carbohydrates that take longer to be digested and are particularly found in bread, potatoes, and cereals. Like sugar, starch is an energy supplier. This is because it occurs in plant cells as starch grains, in which each grain contains many tightly packed starch molecules, which are a chain of sugar molecules themselves. In other words, starch is a concentrated store of energy. Cellulose is a tough and rubbery substance which plant cells' walls are made of. Humans cannot digest it since we don't have the necessary enzymes in our gut for breaking it down, which means we cannot get energy from it. However, it still has a useful function. It is our main source of dietary fiber. This substance is put together in such a way that it can be broken down into sugar molecules, and so it passes through the body undigested. Although it doesn't nourish the body, it promotes health in many ways. It binds to fatty acids in the intestines and carries them out as waste, lowering the amount of bad cholesterol. It also helps regulate the body's use of sugar, keeping hunger and blood sugar in check. Fiber also keeps food moving along the gut, preventing constipation and possible cancer in the colon. Unrefined food such as wholemeal bread, bran cereals, fresh fruit, and vegetables contain plenty of fiber. It has to be taken into account that the one and only basic role of carbohydrates in the human diet is to supply energy. Fats occur in both animal and plant foods. Butter, dripping, and lard are fats obtained from cattle and pigs and stay solid at room temperature. Plant fats, on the other hand, are normally liquids, and we call them oils. Some examples are the corn and olive oil, both used for cooking, as well as margarine, which is obtained from peanuts, soybeans, and so on, and is then turned into solid by fat chemical treatments. In mammals, fat is stored under the skin. This helps to keep the body warm, as well as serving as an energy store. All kinds of fats contain fatty acids. These can be saturated or unsaturated. Unsaturated fatty acids are the ones which contain less than the maximum amount of hydrogen possible. The ones who are much unsaturated are called polyunsaturates. Animal fats contain a high proportion of saturated fatty acids, whereas plant oils contain large quantities of polyunsaturates. For a healthy diet, we should eat mainly polyunsaturates, since they reduce the amount of cholesterol, a fat-like substance that when taken in big quantities may increase the risk of getting heart disease. A certain amount of protein is found in most foods, but is particularly abundant in milk and eggs, where it comes in liquid form, and in meat where it consists of a solid thread-like fibers that are the animal muscle. Proteins form the main structures of the body, like muscles and skin, and they are essential for growth, bodybuilding, and for repairing tissues. We also need them to produce enzymes and as a source of energy. Doctors recommend us to eat about 70 grams of protein a day for a healthy life, but most people are able to live with a lot less than this. Proteins are composed of amino acids. We can make some of these by ourselves, but others must be taken from the outside and included in our diet. These essential amino acids are vital for good health, and absence of just one of them may bring serious consequences. Water is essential for life. It must be therefore included in our diet. A person can go on living without food for several weeks, but will die in a few days from lack of water. Your body needs it to regulate its temperature and to provide the means for nutrients to travel to all your organs. Water also transports oxygen to your cells, removes toxins and waste, and protects your joints and organs. At least 20% of the water you need will come from the foods you eat. Other than that, water is mostly taken in as a liquid, and it is recommended for us to drink a liter per day. Minerals and vitamins belong to the group of micronutrients. Minerals are inorganic elements that come from the soil and water and are absorbed by plants or eaten by animals. Your body needs larger amounts of some minerals, such as calcium, to grow and stay healthy. Other minerals like chromium, copper, iodine, iron, selenium, and zinc are called trace minerals because you only need very small amounts of each of them every day. On the other hand, vitamins are organic substances made by plants or animals, which fall into two categories: fat-soluble and water-soluble. The fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K dissolve in fat and can be stored in your body. The water-soluble vitamins C and B need to dissolve in water before your body can absorb them. Because of this, your body can store these vitamins. Any vitamin C or B that your body doesn't use passes through your system and is lost, so you need a fresh supply of these vitamins every day. Both vitamins and minerals make people's body work properly. They boost the immune system, support normal growth and development, and help cells and organs do their jobs. Now that you've gained a better understanding of water nutrients, let's see some of the phenomena of nutrition and the effects that the lack of nutrients may have in the human body. Many kids, particularly teens, are concerned about how they look and can feel self-conscious about their bodies. This can be especially true when they are going through puberty and undergo dramatic physical changes and face new social pressures. Unfortunately, for a growing proportion of kids and teens, that concern can grow into an obsession that can become more than just going on a diet to lose weight or trying to exercise every day, but extremes in eating behavior. These situations are the so-called eating disorders. The most common eating disorders are anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. Both can cause dramatic weight fluctuation, interfere with normal daily life, and damage vital body functions. In this opportunity, we'll be focusing on bulimia.
Bulimia is an eating disorder, in some cases very similar to anorexia. It consists in binge eating, that is the consumption of excessive amounts of food followed by vomiting. When a person with bulimia vomits, it can be by self-induced or laxative way, in order to purge the body of the food that had been eaten. Bulimia is very common in teenagers. Around the 85% of bulimia cases are teenage girls, and the 10 to 15 are men. There is not a defined cause of bulimia. Researchers believe that the problem begins when the person starts to feel self-critical and negative thoughts and feelings about the body weight and food. It's very common that the people who suffer bulimia have a very low self-esteem and a very big fear of becoming fat because of the society critics.